Well, they head out there on the track for you. As we open up here with your opening heat race, and again, this is going to be your Pro Motorsports of Wichita heat race number 1 for the modifieds, and Bart Tannehill on the pole of the 10. Sammy Brittendall on the outside of the 48. Jeff Damon at 69. He's been successful as of late, too, running here. He's on the inside of row 2 on the outside of the 23 of A.J. Scott. Here they come. 10 big ones for the modified. Heat race number 1. Steve Birch in the 11. Scotty Phillips in the AK-94. Jerry Phillips in the 99. The A2 of Randy Wilson. The 87 of Ken Sweet Jr. Oh, here comes A.J. Scott. He's right up there in the top right now in turn number 3. And brings it around out of 4 on lap number 1. Jerry Phillips spun around the top of 3 and 4. And ends up there setting and waiting. Tough break for Jerry Phillips. But the yellow does come out. They are going to have the single file restart. Line it up here in just a moment for you. You know, talking about Jerry Phillips, and I really had a nice interview with him tonight. He's another one of those guys that I could just sit and talk with all day long, all week long, and talking about his racing career and all the places that he's been and all the different kind of divisions that he has raced. And had a nice visit with him tonight on Access Television. And you can view Access Television on Tuesday night, 7 to 10 on Channel 21 right here in Salina, and check out the races from tonight. And all the interviews that we had. Again, we had a bunch of nice interviews tonight with our drivers. Gives you a chance to get to see the drivers up close and personal and listen to them talk about their racing career and the success that they've had here at the Salina Speedway and the various types of cars that they've been involved with, and where they've been and where they've been racing, and what makes them tick as race car drivers. And I'll tell you what, Jerry Phillips is a unique person. He's one of those guys that had a lot of fun, but he has won. I mean, he has absolutely won a tremendous amount of championships out here at the Salina Speedway.
Yeah, there's been a few years that Jerry will come out here and run, and he'll start getting in the points lead again, and he'll just go somewhere else for a few Saturdays just because he's won it so many times that he doesn't feel the need to win it again, so he just lets somebody else go after it.
Well, he is certainly a fine gentleman to visit with. I really had an interesting conversation with him here this evening. And again, you can view that and listen to it on Tuesday night on Access Television. All right, in single file formation, A.J. Scott going to lead it around. Here they come, and Sammy Brittendall on his tail. Here they go. The green's going to drop for 9 more on the mod. A.J. Scott still hangs out front. Sammy right there behind him, and turn to turn number 3. And whoa, a couple of cars getting together, about 3 or 4 of them. 2 of them off the track, and they come back up on turn 3. So the yellow is out. I'm looking across the way and trying to see who that is. Randy Wilson is one of those. And the other one, again, is Jerry Phillips in the 99. But I think those guys are going to be okay, so they probably will stay into the race. We'll have to get to the back of the pack. But doggone tough break there again for Jerry Phillips and also Randy Wilson getting spun around. With the other 2 guys that went off the track, I believe that was Ken Sweet Jr. and in the AK-94, Mr. Scotty Phillips. Boy, that was something to see last week when you saw the 2 teammates there in the modified feature race where Dustin Hill picked up his first feature win of the 2002 year, and his teammate right on his tail, and they had a heck of a battle. I mean, a whale of a battle to the end over the last 3 or 4 laps. Restart on here with A.J. Scott and Sammy Brittendall, the elder statesman here at the Salina Speedway. They're battling up front there, and Bart Tannehill, Steve Birch in the 11, Ken Sweet Jr. in the 87, and Scotty Phillips in the AK-94. He dived down inside. We got a couple of guys spinning around here. Well, Ken Sweet Jr. in that 87. He is spun around there at the top of turn number 4. Tough break for him. As Scotty Phillips was trying to get down inside there at the back of the track, but the yellow's going to come out again. Guys coming around, and this again is our opening E-race here. The Pro Motorsports of Wichita E-race number 1. Green falls again. We're going to see who's going to end up here in that top 2 slots, top 3 actually. As you see, A.J. Scott, Bart Tannehill, and also Sammy Brittendall, Steve Birch, Scotty Phillips in the AK-94, Ken Sweet Jr. there in the 87, in the Safari Spatial, we'll call it. A.J. Scott in that 23 He's finding his way around the track pretty easily tonight and staying out front there in that lead. A.J. Scott, he's out of Roxbury, Kansas. His major sponsors, well, a couple of guys all together. They out of turn number 4. But everybody seems to keep it all together. Sammy Bredendahl is kind of pushed off there at the top of turn number 4 and makes a stop up there as he was just kind of really shoved off the track. But the rest of the guys keep moving on around, and we're going to have another yellow and another restart. All right, looking for the restart now coming around. Looks like that Sammy is checked off the track, and he has. And here they come down to the cone. And green is on Mr. A.J. Scott. And Scotty Phillips, boy, right on his tail. Scotty Phillips in that AK-94. He was your runner-up to Dustin Hill last week in the feature. And now trying to get himself a little better position here off this heat race number 1. Dive down inside on the apron. Can't get around him just as of yet, but hangs right down in there as he comes down through the main stretch, and we'll try to get right alongside, take him into turn number 1. A little bit lower, but A.J. Scott rides a high groove up there, stays in the lead. A.J. Scott on that number 23. He's been pretty successful here as of late as well in that number 23. He hangs right there in the number 9 position in the points at this stage of the game. A.J. Scott and Scotty Phillips really battling hard there as Bart Tannehill hangs on to the number 3 position. And in the Safari Special, Ken Sweet Jr. and then Steve Birch in the 11. The 5 guys are going to finish this race, hopefully, out of the 9 cars that started. So we've got an attrition of 4 cars already in this one. Getting real close to the end here. Here comes Scotty Phillips right up alongside of A.J. Scott. This is going to be a battle. Here he comes in turn number 3 and now to 4. Down inside. Is he going to overtake him here? Here he comes. Maybe. It's going to be tight. He does get around him. Scotty Phillips really riding it hard and high and standing on it. Got around him and down the back chute he goes. Extends a little bit more. Boy, Scotty Phillips really wants to take this one all the way to the bank and get himself in great position for tonight's feature race. One more time around the 3/8 oval is Scotty Phillips in the AK-94, the Danny Hill-owned car, is in the lead, and A.J. Scott is your runner-up, and Bart Tannehill trying to battle Ken Sweet Jr. back there for the 3 position. Here's the checker, gonna fall. Oh, A.J. Scott! Oh, he went over and hit the fence. He's up in the air down over there on turn number 4. I don't know what happened. Something mechanically had to go wrong with the A.J. Scott car. He is up there on the tires on turn number 4. And wouldn't you know it, we don't have Sean to get down there and check that out for us tonight.
No, we don't. He could even get underneath there and tell us what was wrong.
Well, that he could, but A.J. Scott hung up in the air there, but still the checkered did fall. And, of course, your winner in this one in the first heat race for the modifieds in our Pro Motorsports of Wichita heat race number 1, the AK-94, Mr. Scotty Phillips, and he's running really hot and hard on this year. But tough break for A.J. Scott.
He's okay, in case anybody's wondering. He's all right over there. You know, the announcer a few years ago said this when another car got stuck on a tire. I think he got tired.
Well, he did get tired, evidently, but something else mechanically must have went wrong with the car here. And, folks, if, we know he's okay, you never know what takes place in those kind of situations. Now, let's give him a big hand, Mr. A.J. Scott. Row 2 in the 10J of Josh Lovelace. On the outside of the 93 is Mark Abel. On row 3 in the number 7 is Gary Nolf. He's out of Hutchinson, Kansas. On the outside of the 57 is Kenny Cross. And on row 4, the 94, Dustin Hill. And on the outside, the 27 is Randy Porter. He's gotten out of his mini stock tonight and into the modified as he did early on in the year. Also, remember, Dustin Hill's going to be in a late model, too, later tonight. All right, here they come for the heat race number 2. Rocking and rolling for the modified. Kenny Ziegler just doesn't waste any time. Jumps out there early. Mark Abel right on his tail. And then Wyland Petrie, also Josh Lovelace down inside there in the 10J. And Kenny Cross. And here comes Dustin Hill in the 94. He was your feature winner last week. Boy, what a nice job. Really nice job of maneuver right inside as he's side by side with Josh Lovelace here, trying to make his way through the pack. As the rest of the guys up front still got green, rocking and rolling. And Kenny Ziegler there, and Mark Abel out front. Kenny Cross moves into that third position. Oh, they bring it on down. Of course, this is scheduled for 10 big laps here on our second heat race, and this being the pit stop liquor heat race number 2. Kenny Ziegler and Kenny Cross back there in the number 3 position, and also Mark Abel in the runner-up spot. They're bringing out of turn number 4 down the main chute. Here they come, and what a battle back here for the 4 and 5 spot as Dustin Hill and Gary Knoll really battling hard. And I tell you what, Dustin Hill, after last week and the way the car set up for him, really had a good run to that championship last Saturday night. Going to try to do the same thing here tonight, but he's also going to be jumping in and racing in late model as he floated right around Gary Knoll, but up high now, trying to stay there, and does as he'll try to stay on the high side and get back down there in the groove through 1 and 2. He's in that 4th position right now as you see Ziegler and Abel and Cross as Dustin Hill will make his charge up there with a few laps left to go and see what he can get done on these final few laps in heat race number 2. Josh Lovelace in the 10J. He's spun around up there between 3 and 4. And, of course, I believe that is going to bring out the yellow flag, and it will. And that's going to bunch everybody up, and that's going to give a great opportunity for the guys sitting behind the 202 of Kenny Ziegler as they bring it around. And the way those top 5 guys are there as Kenny Ziegler comes on down, Mark Abel and Kenny Cross, and then Dustin Hill, and, of course, Gary Nolf, and then Wyland Petrie, and the 27R Randy Porter. Josh Lovelace will head to the back of the pack. Cones out. Here they come down at 4, and the green is on again. Here we go. Ziegler just stands on it, but Dustin Hill tries to float down inside. Couldn't get down on the apron far enough, but he's going to stay right up there and make his hurry charge from that number 4 position. Kenny Ziegler and Mark Abel there at the top, and here comes Dustin Hill down inside of Kenny Cross. He'll float up a little bit higher. They're going to try to ride the rim and be a high rider coming down the main chute to try to get around the 93 of Mark Abel. Now goes back down inside on the apron as he works the track from the top to the bottom, back to the middle, and back to the top again, and down the main chute he goes. Kenny Ziegler still hanging out front, coming out of turn number 4, and down the main stretch he comes. Whoa, what a battle we got back here between Abel, between Dustin Hill, as he works down inside. Has he got enough power to get that slingshot out of there? Not just yet. And Kenny Cross also on his tail in the 57. Dustin Hill has really become a very, very consistent and good driver in his 94. Really feels like that the handling problems have been taken care of in that car. Kenny Ziegler lost his position momentarily, and then Dustin Hill regains it, trying to get up there and get around the Mark Abel car. Those guys were just all bunch together. Here comes Dustin Hill down inside. Is he going to be able to get around both of them? We'll see what happens here. Heads into turn number 3, and now dive down inside of the apron. Really handling well there as Dustin Hill gets bumped a little bit, but now on the high side, still coming around. 1 lap to go. What a beautiful job by Dustin Hill to come through all that bumping and grinding on turn number 4 and get out in front. He's down the back chute. A half a lap to go. He come all the way from the back of the pack here in position number 7 into 3 out of 4. Here he comes. He's going to take the checkered flag. Dustin Hill with the heat race win. Then Mark Abel followed by the number 7 of Gary Knoll and Kenny Cross in the 57. And that was your top 4. Wow, what a job. Again, Kenny Cross in the 57 is your number 4 runner. Gary Knoll from the 7 is your 3rd place runner. Mark Abel in that 93 is your runner-up. Coming from the number 7 spot, ladies and gentlemen, put them together for the pilot behind the 94, Dustin Hill. Man, oh man, what a job by Dustin Hill of being able to come out of that unscathed in that just that whole raft and bunch of cars coming out of turn number 4 and all that bumping and grinding going on, but he was able to keep it straight and make sure that he got up on the high side and stayed ahead of that and pulled out the win.
Yeah, you always hear the term slide job. Well, that's exactly what all that was.
He did it and did it extremely well and picked up back the pit stop liquor heat race number 2 win. Here we go with number 3 now. This is going to be your Belleville Motorsports Heat Race number 3. We'll tell you all about it. Here they are on the pole. Roger Bennett in the 16. On the outside of the 29 exclamation mark is Steve Withy's out of place center. On row 2, the 91 of Dean Brungard. On the outside of the 36 is Mark Franklin. Row 3 of the 2X, that's Mr. Lyle Shepard. And Smokin' Joe Cleveland out there on the outside of the number 2. On row 4, Gary Clements, your points leader right now at this stage of the game in the IMCA Modifieds. He's in the number 56. And a guy that's been absent from the track for quite a while, but he was your former champion back here in 99 and 2000, Mr. Timmy Chevrier in the 35. Here we go, rockin' with the Belleville Motorsports Heat Race number 3. Steve Withy is really with it, going through 1 and 2. Roger Bennett floats up high, and it's Steve Withy who's in the lead. Dean Brungard of the 91, and then it is that 2X of Lyle Shepard. He jumps into the number 3 spot. Mark Franklin, Smokin' Joe Cleveland, and of course Gary Clements and Timmy Chevrier. So it didn't take long for them guys to make their battle. Tough break for Roger Bennett, dropping all the way to the back. Here, but Steve Withy in that 29 exclamation as your leader. There is Lyle Shepard getting around the 91 of Dean Brungard as he moves in to the runner-up spot as Brungard went a little bit high. And now Shepard will make his run, and Steve Withy. But Timmy Chevrier also making his way through the pack. He gets up there trying to make that run. And Smokin' Joe Cleveland and Dean Brungard and Mark Franklin. Out in front is Steve Withy as he goes into turn number 3. There's E. Chevrier along with Smokin' Joe and Dean Brungard there battling through 3 together, almost 3 wide there as you watch them work down the main chute. Lyle Shepard in that runner-up spot will make his charge at the 29 exclamation of Steve Withy. The rest of the guys back there really battling hard as Mark Franklin in the number 3 spot. And here comes Timmy Chevrier up there alongside of Smokin' Joe. Again, those guys almost 3 wide again in through 3 and 4. There, he's right in the middle and does get his way up there into the number 4 spot. Timmy Chevrier, the 35. Not only does he run the IMCA Modified, but he's also going to be in the late model Cora car tonight as well. He's got both of them here, as well as a couple of other guys who just won your last heat race. He is also in a late model Cora car this evening. But right now here in this, your Belleville Motorsports heat race number 3, Steve Withy hanging out front as he has from the get-go and trying to hold off the charge of that 2X of Lyle Shepard, who's trying to get down on the apron. But E. Chevrier working hard, trying to get up there and move into the number 3 spot and get around Mark Franklin. And get it done just as of yet. You see all of them coming down the main street into turn number 1. And Lyle Shepard trying to dive on the apron, still can't get that slingshot out of there to get around as Steve Withy down the back chute will extend just a little bit. But here comes Lyle Shepard again, this time a little harder charge down there. Still has a tough time of getting alongside of him. Timmy Chevrier now has moved into the 3 position and will make his run at Lyle Shepard and Steve Withy, but not much left to go in this one. I'll tell you what, you take a look at the way the track is setting up here. It is really setting up beautiful on this dry, fast track. And it will be that way throughout the rest of the night. We've still got a couple of, actually 5 more heat races to go. 1 more in the modifieds and 4 more in the late model Toras. This next time around, we're going to get the indication of just 1 lap to go. Here comes Lyle Shepard and also Timmy Chevrier. They're trying to run up there on the 29 of Steve Withy. He's trying to hold them off. Here they come down to issue. 1 more trip around. The white flag out on the 3/8 oval and going on a high side. Steve Withy still hangs in there. Timmy Chevrier was trying to get up there as well. Couldn't get around him, though. Those guys battled down the back chute. And they're coming around. Looks like that Steve Withy may, just very well may, hold him off and take the checkered flag for the win. Here he comes, and he will get it. It's that 1, 2, 3 finish, just as we call it. And Mark Franklin in 4th. Again, the way it ended up, ladies and gentlemen, the 36 of Mark Franklin in your 4th position. Your 3rd place runner, the 35 of Timmy Chevrier. Your runner-up of the 2X is Lyle Shepard, and doing a great job going coast to coast from Clay Center, Kansas, in the 29 exclamation mark, Mr. Steve Withy.
Real quick, we got a red Chevy pickup with the topper that has its parking lights that are on. It's McPherson County tag QTZ 741. It's a red Chevy pickup with the topper. McPherson County, QTZ 741. You got your parking lights on.
And the motor's running too, right?
Well, I hope not. They might be walking home tonight.
They might be. Heat race number 4 coming up here. It'll be the Mid-Kansas Homes and Movers heat race number 4. Here's the grid. Johnny Brown on the pole, the 15. On the outside of the 25 is Mike Petersilli. On row 2, the 63 is Chris Vogan. On the outside of the 33 is Rick Rogers. On row 3 of the 51 is Robert Shepard. On the outside of the B6 is Brian Nell. He's your runner-up for the points in the modifieds right now at this stage of the game. Mr. Derek Klima back there in the 2K on the row 4. On the outside, it is Cliff Shepard in the 52. Hot one coming here. This is your Mid-Kansas Homes and Movers heat race number 4. Well, a bunch of rocking and rolling and banging and grooving through there, but Johnny Brown emerges as your leader. Chris Vogan and then Mike Petersilli. And then Cliff Shepard as the rest of the guys work their way. And Derek Shepard moved up a couple of spots there from the back of the pack and trying to go down inside to move his way up. Robert Shepard as well. He's the guy that's won the most feature races here on the year thus far in the modifieds. Oh, those guys banging a little bit there through turn 2, but Brian Nell made the best of it as he split the difference between the two out of turn number 2. Got a nice little slingshot. What a great move by Brian Nell, the gentleman out of Fallon, Kansas. Had a nice interview with him earlier tonight. He's trying to battle those guys. Derek Klima goes on a high side as he likes to be a rim rider. We've seen that many times before. But Johnny Brown, Mike Petersilli, Chris Vogan, as they hang on out front as your 1, 2, and 3 guys. And then Derek Klima in 4th, and then Brian Nell followed up by Robert Shepard in the 51. Cliff Shepard in the 52, the 33 of Rick Rogers. And down the main stretch we go. Johnny Brown in at 15. And Mike Petersilli as they rock it down through here on this, our scheduled 10 lap on our final heat race, our Mid-Kansas Homes and Movers heat race number 4. All right, Cliff Shepard spun it around over there on the bottom of turn number 2, but I guess they're going to keep the green going. It's not going to bring out the yellow, so we're doing okay thus far. Johnny Brown, he says, yeah, I'm doing okay as well. I'm going to stay out front here, guys, and try to keep it right in the groove. You're going to have to find your way around me. Derek Klima's finding his way to the top of the back after being back there on the back row as the rim rider comes up to the top side here on the 3/8 oval. And now we'll make his hard charge as this one goes on down. Brian Nell lost a few spaces back there and is close to the back of the back. But here comes Derek Klima on the outside, just blast by Johnny Brown as he rides right there in the groove now out of turn number 4, bringing it on down. Oh, a couple of cars together up there to see who is on the top of turn number 4, and that is Robert Shepard in the 51. And of course it brings out the yellow, and that will bring everybody back together. But that happened at the point in time that I believe Derek Klima is going to be your front runner on that, or will they make that change and go back? We'll wait and check it out for sure to see where they actually do place the lineup. Robert Shepard is your gentleman in the 51 that was spun around there at the top of turn number 4 and awaits his opportunity to get back there in the back of the pack. Looking for the restart down here at the cone. Nose to tail, bringing it on down, and Derek Klima, the gentleman out of Belleville, Kansas. He is the guy that builds a lot of these cars out here, the CMS Belleville Motorsports cars, and that is his Belleville Motorsports Special, the 2K. Really stood on it, taking the green flag, and does the same down the backstretch, and just floats off just a little bit. Now mashes it again, coming out of turn number 4 and coming on down. Not too many laps left here to go for him to pick up the win. Providing nothing else goes wrong with the car. Again, this is our 4th and final heat race of Mid-Kansas Homes and Movers heat race number 4. He's extended his lead just a little bit. Johnny Brown still hanging in there as your runner-up, though. And Mike Petersilli rounds out the top 3. Brian Nell up there in that top 4 spot. So what will probably happen here tonight is they'll probably take the top 4 out of these heat races and get their top 16, and then they expect to pick up Well, top three anyway, and get their right out their field with two qualifying B mains tonight. And Brian Nell would like nothing better than to get up there and be in that A main tonight. And the white flag is out. One more trip around. Brian Nell trying to dive down inside to get in that top three. Isn't able to get it done as of yet, but now we'll try to battle around to Johnny Brown. That's going to be the position right there that he certainly would like to pick up and get into tonight's A main without having to qualify. But Derek Klima comes around. He came from the back of the pack. He's going to get the win. He'll take the checkered flag. And here comes Mike Peterselli, Johnny Brown, and Brian Nell. So that's going to end it up there. Your fourth place finisher, Brian Nell, in the B6. Third was it Johnny Brown in the 15. Your runner-up of the 25P, Mike Peterselli. And ladies and gentlemen, from the back of the pack, running that Belleville Motorsports Special, driving the 2K, Mr. Derek Klima. We thought that was going to happen. All right, here they come around. Out of turn number 4. Green's going to drop, and yes, we do have the green on. Johnny Brown, Steve Birch in that 11. He's right there on his tail, and Steve Withy, also the AK-94 and the KY-94. Right in there. And those are the two guys that finished 1 and 2 last week, Dustin Hill and Scotty Phillips, and they're battling again, trying to maneuver and find a way. Well, Smoking Joe Cleveland, he had lost it momentarily, but was able to keep it going forward. And the green is still on. Oh, a couple of cars off the track up there on the far side. We'll see what happened over there in the yellow. Comes out again as one car went off the backside. Dustin Hill was able to stay on, and we don't know who that car is that went over there. Nothing on the track out there as well, but trying to find out who the car is that went over. Did you see that?
It was Steve Withy and Dustin Hill that went off the back. They both came back up, though.
All right, I didn't see Steve Withy get back up there that quickly. I did see...
With such a small area as we have compared to Wichita and Topeka, we're doing really good.
Boy, that's exactly right. All right, the guys coming around here for the restart, and here we go. The green's going to fall again at the cone as they all make their way around that. Again, going to try to make their attempt and run for the top. As you see, the AK-94 of Scotty Phillips and also the KY-94 of Dustin Hill battle their way down inside on the track and trying to get around down there inside of Steve Birch. They're going to make their run and Scotty Brown. Oh, we got a couple of guys together here, and Brian Nell is going to be hit from behind and couldn't be missed by the car of Smoking Joe Cleveland. Oh, my. As Brian Nell was a setting duck right out there, and boy, Smoking Joe trying to go up near the wall and miss him, but just couldn't quite miss him at all, and caught that left rear panel. Looks like that Brian Nell's going to be okay, and Smoking Joe's going to be all right. A little damage to the cars there. We'll see what else has to be done to get them back into the race, but Smoking Joe looks like he's going to be okay, so he's taken off to get around a position, but Brian Nell is out of the car over there. I think he really took some damage to the front and certainly to that left rear panel, so it could spell the doom for Brian Nell. And being over there, being assisted by the A&A Towing, and they're going to get him hooked up and hooked off the track. He's got his helmet off. Mr. Chenoweth says, guys, we hope we can get it going and keep it flowing on this one. Green's going to happen next time at turn 4. We're in order right now as you look at it on the far side. Johnny Brown, the 15, the 11 of Steve Birch, the AK-94 of Scotty Phillips, the KY-94 of Dustin Hill, the 25P of Mike Peterselli, the 7 of Gary Nolf, the 36 of Mark Franklin, the 87 of Ken Sweet Jr., the 57 of Kenny Cross, the 51 of Robert Shepard, the 99 of Jerry Phillips. We're going to rock and roll right now. What a battle we we got? Dustin Hill got down inside of Scotty Phillips and now long shot of Steve Birch, and he is going to try to get up there and make a hard charge for another opportunity at another feature win. All right, here they come. Those guys battle hard, and they are a team, but Dustin Hill tries to ride the outside up there to get around the Johnny Brown car. Steve Birch also right on his tail, and now the 94 of Dustin Hill is out in the front again. He was your winner last week, but I tell you what, he's going to get a challenge, and now the yellow is out again. Wow. Another car down there at the bottom, and that is that car of Smokin' Joe Cleveland. Apparently we're all back in order here again, and the way that it is the way you see it over there on the far side. Johnny Brown followed by Steve Birch, and then Scotty Phillips and Dustin Hill, and then Gary Nolf, and then Mike Peterselli, Mark Franklin, Ken Sweet Jr., Kenny Cross, Jerry Phillips, Robert Shepard, Timmy Cheveria, Gary Clements, Derek Klima, Steve Withy, and Mark Abel. We're rocking again. We'll see what takes place off of this particular time now as you watch the two guys up front. Steve Birch trying to get around Johnny Brown. They're again up there side by side. Dustin Hill trying to go up on a high side to get around Scotty Phillips, and does on that particular one. Stays up there trying to get around Johnny Brown. And Dustin Hill trying to dive back down inside. He'll make his chase now. Steve Birch in the 11. That could be a battle. Here comes Dustin Hill back down inside again. See if he can get around inside. That car really handling well for him. Down there on the low side. Well, it doesn't matter really anywhere on the track. It's handling well for him. Here now again he'll dive back inside. Trying to get inside of Steve Birch. Can he make it stick this time? As he can try to get a slingshot out of turn number 2. They are side by side there. He's going to try to work it hard to get back into that lead, and does. As you see, Steve Birch goes a little high. Dustin Hill stays down there on the low side. But again, they come side by side. More power by the Steve Birch car on the straightaway. But up there in the 99 of Jerry Phillips, as he's really setting crossways, and looks like he's got a really severe front end problem. He's not going to be able to go anywhere with that, I don't think, because he's really got a tire bent out here to the right side of his car. So the yellow comes out again. All right, as you look at the way they're stacked over there on the far side, Steve Birch is your leader, Dustin Hill is your runner-up, and then Scotty Phillips right behind. So you got the Danny Hill Racing Team 2 and 3 right there. Gary Nolf right behind Johnny Brown, and then Ken Sweet Jr. right there rounds out that top 6. Here we go, rocking and rolling. Green's going to drop, and here we go. We're going to fly. They're really mashing it hard as those Hill cars are going to fly to the high side and the low side, and there goes Dustin Hill around on the high side around Steve Birch. Also, Scotty Phillips down on the inside, showing the power there. The KY94 of Dustin Hill out in front right now with Scotty Phillips right on his tail. Wow, what a battle this is going to be. Folks, I'll tell you what, you're going to get a real deja vu picture of what happened last week in the feature race for the modifieds. These guys battled hard over the last 3, 4, 5 laps. You're going to get a much longer view of this tonight as these two guys really go head to head. Scotty Phillips goes down inside. Dustin Hill cuts him off as he gets back down into the groove. And Steve Birch and Gary Nolf, Ken Sweet Jr. hanging in there at number 5. But these two guys coming around out of turn number 4 and down the main chute they go. It's Dustin Hill and Scotty Phillips as they battle it hard. The KY94 and the AK94. They are teammates, but I'll tell you what, they are true competitors in the sense of the word when they're out there on the racetrack. And I tell you what, it's not anybody's turn to get a win here. They're trying to unseat each other every time they step out there. We're halfway done. 10 laps to go. It is going to be one tremendous battle over these final 10 laps. And you can tell that a Y94 car and the handling ability of it on the high side to Dustin Hill. Again, the same situation here. Those two guys go into 1 and 2. Scotty Phillips down inside. Does he have the power? He's long side. They're going to have a wide battle. Oh, Scotty Phillips gets down around and inside of him. And now Dustin drops back to the number 2 spot. But Scotty Phillips in the AK-94, as he gets around and tries to extend his lead a little bit. And Dustin Hill in the KY-94 will try to make chase. But boy, I'll tell you what, this could be just a turnaround from last week. Last week, it was Dustin Hill that got the win in the KY-94. Tonight, the way it looks right now, it could be the AK-94 of Scotty Phillips. And if that's the case, Scotty Phillips will pick up his third feature win on the year. He has really come on very, very strong over this last 4, 5, 6 weeks and really proven himself out here and really has that car handling perfection. They've got it dialed in as well as the KY-94 car. Steve Birch, there's Gary Knoll, Ken Sweet, Gary Klima in the 2K. He's battled his way back up there through the pack now into the number 6 spot. Also, Timmy Cheveria there in the number 7 spot. A lot of battles back there in the back of the pack. But your leader coming around now, Scotty Phillips, trying to hang on here to pick up another win. Scotty Phillips in that AK-94. He's out of Smolin, Kansas. And he is running your Mid-Kansas Homes and Russell's Restaurant Special. And, of course, the KY-94, the Mid-Kansas Mobile Homes Speed Shop Special there in the KY-94. Scotty Phillips, well, I'll tell you what, seemingly has a much faster car right now and has extended his lead just a little bit more over Dustin Hill. We've still got green. We're still going forward. We're trying to get this thing finished and completed here for the modifieds as it is really getting down to the stretch. We've got a couple of cars over there on the backside, so the yellow has come out. That's going to close the gap between those two. But Steve Withy and Robert Shepard in the 51, they're over there on the backside, and they're trying to get into the backside pit row to make some changes there. The pit crew for the Robert Shepard car runs up there to make some necessary changes. Steve Withy over there on the backside, he's being checked out by the officials and part of his pit crew, but they got together over there, which brings out the yellow again. And you know, Dustin, have you kept track of how many times we've had the yellow here on the modifieds tonight? It's been at least probably a half a dozen times.
Yeah, I think we're up to about 7.
I thought that it was getting up there pretty doggone close. It's been quite a night for that throughout this evening. You know, things were rolling along really well there. Here we are at the 11:30 hour, and, of course, we've still got to finish this one. We're right down there pretty close to the close of it, though. And the big one coming up here to finish out the night with the Toro late models. As you watch the modifieds now on the back chute over there, and you see that the AK-94 is Scotty Phillips and the KY-94 of Dustin Hill lead the charge around here, coming down to the cone with 4 more laps left. And here they are down the main chute, rocking and rolling. We'll see what takes place here. This is where those guys battled hard last time on that situation. And it was Dustin Hill that came out on top, but Scotty Phillips right now in the lead certainly has his chance to pull off his third feature win on the year. Coming down inside here, but Dustin Hill right on his tail. Flying high is Steve Birch right behind. And Gary Klima also flying high as well as he dives down there inside of Steve Birch, trying to get around, but couldn't get it done. But Scotty Phillips bringing it on around, out of 3 and down to 4, down inside here on the apron. Now brings it back in the middle of the track. Is almost at the finish of this particular race. You see the guys that started way back there at the back have worked their way up in there. Gary Klima, who had started way back at the back after an early spin out, is back up in the number 4 position. And now here is a white flag. One more trip around for Scotty Phillips. Dustin Hill in the rest of the field. Gary Klima from the back all the way to 3rd. Scotty Phillips on the verge of picking up win number 3 on this 2002 season. Here they come out of turn number 4. It's going to be the AK-94 of Scotty Phillips. Dustin Hill is your runner-up. Then Derek Klima, followed by Steve Birch and Timmy Cheveria rounds out the top 5. Oh, wow. Those guys really made a hard run. Well, it was Timmy Chevarria, your number 5 place finisher. In 4th was Steve Birch in the 11. And in the 2K, it's Derek Klima as your number 3 man. And your runner-up in the KY94, last week's winner, Dustin Hill. And ladies and gentlemen, the pilot of the AK-94, his 3rd feature win on this 2002 season, Mr. Scotty Phillips.